Hey people, what's up? My name is João Moura and this is going to be a tutorial where I'm going to show to you a little bit more of what is Sigma, how it works, and how useful it can be for any kind of application. First of all, I'd like to explain to you a little bit more of what Sigma is. Sigma is a raking algorithm implementation for web and Rails applications that use Active Record. It is on GitHub, so if you really would like to take a closer look at the code, understand a little bit more of how it works, or even just send me an issue or a pull request, just make yourself comfortable. It's on my GitHub. For the purpose of this video, I decided to start a new Rails application that I have just generated, and I call it Sigma Test. It's a usual Rails application and have the usual Rails backbone. So the first thing that I'm going to do is generate a new model, a user model that's going to have some usual attributes, a name attribute that is going to be a string, and an email attribute that also is going to be a string. I will also run the rakedb create and the bmigrate, and here it is. This is the usual context where Sigma comes in. So we have a usual Rails application and a usual resource, and you really would like to apply a ranking algorithm and a ranking mechanism on top of your resource. So the first thing that you're gonna have to do is add Sigma to your gen file. So let's do it. Once that you have done it, you just run the bundle, and here it is. Everything's okay, and here is where the magic starts. You will run the Sigma generator, and it will shoot you some questions. The first one is, what is your resource model? In our case, as the example, our resource model is going to be a user. The second one is, what will be the scale? This number is just a background number, and it really doesn't make a lot of difference on how Sigma will gonna work. So I just recommend you to use the full value, that is 50, and press return. So what Sigma is doing right now is adding some attributes to your resource. So it's going to add a skill attribute, a doubt attribute, a wins attribute, loses attribute, drowns attribute, and also an expectations attribute. It will also bind some new methods to your model, so you're going to have pretty much cool methods to call. It's done. Let's play a little bit with it. So I open the console, and I would like to create a new user. His email is going to be below. Alright, here it is. So as you can see, Red have these new attributes that we have generated. It have some default values, but we can call some methods on it. Right, so first I'm going to show to you some methods that provide information about the user. The first method is the position method that returns the user position. You also have the maths method that return an amount of all maths that this user have already played. And you also have the rating method that is actually an attribute, the user punctuation. So you also have access to some attributes like wins attribute, or lose attribute or drowns attribute. But you also have some more important methods that will trigger some events. So it's going to have the one method that will trigger the event of a win for this browser, and you also have the last method. Well, in order to make some examples here, I will create a new user that will be Jodu. Also, his mail is going to be low. And here it is. Now we have both users. Well, let's imagine that the first user have played the match against the second one and it has won. So we'll have to trigger the one method and we'll have to pass an attribute that will be the difficulty of this match. In this case, as a user is playing against another user, the difficulty of this match is actually the difference between their ratings. So we have to subtract one rating for another. And here it is. But we also have to trigger a last method to the second user with the same difficulty. Alright, here it is. Well, now that we have done it, we can see that the first user's position will be the first one, and the second one, the last position. We also can take a closer look at the match method. The both are going to have one match. The first user is going to have one win. The second loser is going to have one loss. Sorry about that. Here it is. The second user is going to have one lose, and the first user is going to have one win. And if we take a closer look at their rating, we're going to see that the second user rating has become negative. And this is how it's supposed to work, because we are working with a range of less 50 to plus 50. So it's expected to have some users with negative ratings, and it is not a problem and does not influence with their ranking position. Alright people, I think that this is it. You have just seen how Sigma works. It's quite simple to set up and quite simple to use, and you can use it in a larger scale. What I have done here is just an example showing to you how the methods that it has work and how you should use it. If you really would like to know a little bit more about Sigma, you can just go to the GitHub and take a closer look at the code, or send me an email, or just put your comments right down this post. Well, just make yourself comfortable. I will be really glad to answer any doubts or questions that you might have. Thank you for your time and have a nice day.